So this video is about my standards check from start to finish. So if you're a learner driver and you're watching this video, by all means stay tuned. It'll be interesting to see what an instructor's got to go through, but it's mainly aimed at new instructors who have got the standards check coming up, or even experienced ones who just want a little bit more a look at how things have gone. So people might know me already. If you don't, then by all means stay tuned. It's an NA I got. I was really pleased because it's my second standards check, this one. My first one was about 5.5 years ago. So when it first changed from a check test to a standards check, so I was one of the first that took it. I think it must have been going a month or two at that point. So this one's way overdue, and it threw me really because I was expecting it, like I say, about 1.5 years ago. And I remember coming home one lunchtime. It was October time when it arrived, the letter, and this is what threw me straight away. I have always, back in my mind, I've always thought brown letter arrives, that's what it's going to be. Anyway, it was a white letter and it threw me. So when I'm opening the front door and there's letters on the carpet, all these white letters I picked up, I thought, oh, what's that there? I turned it over, DVSA, and I got a funny feeling in my belly. I thought, oh, like you got the nerves going on. And I thought, all right, so I just chucked it on the side, had my lunch, went back out and carried on working. That evening I opened the letter and it said, I think I had about 10 or 14 days to reply and book your standards check from the date of the letter. So I went online and I thought, October time, like second week in October at this point. I thought to myself, right, okay then, don't let it be December. Don't, you know, I thought, go online, there's been lots of dates available, there's going to be lots of times available. Nothing in October, nothing in November, nothing in December. So I looked at January, one day with one test time, and that was it. And I can't remember the exact time. Oh, what's it say on here? The 23rd of January, that's when I took it. 11:30. So that's me taking my standards check at that point. So I thought, okay, great, booked. So it's all done and dusted. It's all booked, printed it off to make sure, and written it on so I didn't put it in my diary so kind of forget about it, which I'm sure no one's going to forget about that point. And then for the next few weeks, just kind of carried on like normal, you know, and thinking it's quite far away, and then just started thinking about it slowly. How am I going to prepare for it? Now, prior to this, my previous standards check and my check test before that, I've always kind of met up with a trainer for a couple of lessons, just refresher lessons, just to kind of make sure I've not got rusty or anything. But this time I thought, well, things are changing and I feel a bit more experienced now. I've been doing it now for 12 years. I think I'll just do something slightly different. So I thought I'll have a look for an online course, and I looked at Walsh's, which is pretty good. I looked at standard check success, which in the end that's what I went with. So it suited me at that point. So I went with standard check success, and I paid for a year subscription, £49 I think it was, and I could use it on my mobile, I could use it on the laptop, on the computer, so basically anywhere, and print stuff off. Lots of little short videos, 4 or 5 minute long, some of them, and little videos. And then over the next few months I started to watch the videos and started to watch them again, read the information, because you can't get it all done in a week or two. There's too many things going on, you know, it's too much information, and basically what I'm checking for is that what I'm doing is right. You know, I know you're getting the test passes, so you must be doing something right, but you're thinking, well, you know, it's like the standards check, you've got to tick a lot of boxes, because it's like a ticking exercise in a way. You've got to make sure that you're showing the examiner that you can do all these things. So it's remembering little things like that. So as time got closer and closer, I was doing quite well on the online course, and I thought, well, I just need to pick a right person. So come towards the end of December, I picked someone at that point. And the girl who normally does Thursday mornings, I wasn't going to pick her straight away because I wasn't sure if she would have took a test before then. But come beginning of January, she was still going to be around because we booked a test for the end of January, beginning of February. So I had a chat with her, and she was quite happy going for being as the student for the standards check. So I was quite pleased about that. So that's a student pick. Now, picking the subject, that was something that kind of drove me nuts at it, because she'd come up to a test, and prior to that I've always picked someone who's had less experience, so I've got more things to work on, but just the way it fell. So I just thought, well, okay, then what can I do? And I'm looking at the way she's driving, and she's making some good improvements, she's doing pretty well, and I started looking at online stuff. So I looked at Lou Walsh's video, which was choosing the subject for your standards check, and that's the one that gave me the idea. I'll come back to it in a minute. And I also looked at Howard on how to drive, and these subjects were pretty good, so I'll put a link for his channel on YouTube there. I looked at on Facebook the ADI channel, so it's ADI, what's it called? Let me just check again. It's I should know, it's ADI standards check. Just can't find them. So I'll put a link for that Facebook one there, and that was pretty good. I enjoyed reading the files that people have put on there, that people have written, because it was interesting in what people have said and how they handle things. But in the end, for choosing subject, I went with Lou's video on choosing the right subject for your standards check. So I'll put a link for that, and I'll put also a link for their channel, because it was interesting. I quite enjoyed them ones. So what I'd done was I went with what she said, which was, if you got someone come up for your test and you're not too sure, then do a mock test. So that's what we've done in the end. So she was doing everything fine. We chose a mock test week before a test, week before the standards check, and we ended up doing the mock test, and it threw up a couple of little things. So at the end of the mock test, she wanted to know if she passed or failed. So I said, well, you've actually passed, but you've got a few faults. I don't want to talk about them. We'll talk about on the next lesson, which is going to be the standards check. So it's a bit more natural at that point. So the day of the standards check, and picked her up, everything's going fine. Got to the test centre, she wanted to stay in the car. She didn't want to kind of come in the test centre itself. So I'm in the waiting room, examiner comes out dead on time, says to me, blah, 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 I want to be back here 5 minutes before the end. So we've got 55 minutes of an hour, which doesn't sound like much, but if you're planning it down, then you just got to kind of take that into account, because you've got to put a debrief in at the end at the same time, which takes a few minutes. And he asked a bit about the student, how many hours they've had, and what they like, what their weaknesses, and what are the strengths, and what you're going to do on the lesson. So I explained that we've done a mock test, and it's threw a couple of problems up, and I'm going to chat to the student about it, and we're going to come up with a plan for the lesson. So that'll be our goals. And that's what we did. Examiner sat in the back of the car, introduced himself to the student, and then said nothing. That was it. Sat in the back of the car, didn't have a peep out of him, didn't even rustle any papers, nothing. He was just sat there being quiet as a pie. And then we just, as we said there, we talked about the mock test, how it threw up a couple of problems, and then set our plan for that lesson. So it was basically forward planning, road signs, lane markings in quiet areas, and then building up to the busy areas where the big spiral roundabouts, the lights on, working on them, because you got a little bit mixed up lane changing. So we spent the first 10-15 minutes driving to the bigger roundabouts, and with that, the plan was to drive back afterwards, and in the middle of that we'd work. The main gist of it is working on the big roundabouts. So the forward planning is basically going all the way through the lesson, incorporating smaller roads and bigger roads basically, and then the bigger roundabouts. And it went all right, but halfway through the lesson, and this is where it went a bit wrong, and we had to change it. So she made a few mistakes. I think she was getting a bit flustered because of the traffic getting busy. And she didn't see a sign. The red light was on, so I had to brake her for it. So at that point we pulled off the main road, had a chat about it, bit of questions and answers. It's sort of things you normally do, just to see what she knew, see what she realised, see how she felt, asking how she's feeling, and just come up with a new plan based off what she's happening. So we're still doing forward planning, but we brought it down to some quieter areas at that point. So it calmed her back down, and at that point she was driving fine. And then the rest of the lesson was just just gradually building it back up again, but not to the point where it was too busy for her. And then got back to test centre, had a bit of a debrief about how she felt, asking how she felt. Got her to think about how the lesson went, got her to think about the good bits she done, the bits she made mistakes on, how she could improve on next time. So and then set the goals for the next lesson, and that was it really. So the lesson flew by. Then the examiner shot off for 5 minutes, and then when he come back, he obviously said, "Well done, you passed." He enjoyed the lesson. I thought it was pretty good. he was quite pleased with the progress the student made, and because of the way it was laid out with the mock test result at the beginning and setting the goals, and how we changed the plan halfway through, and how we adapted it, and how the lesson went, it felt it was a good lesson. So good score it was. So I was pleased. So that's basically what it is. If you like this video, by the way, feel free to share it, and if you've got your standards check coming up, by all means, look around. That's what I did. Choose what suits you, whether it be with a trainer, whether it be an online course, whether it be just watching a few videos. Everyone's different. And I suppose it's horses for courses. So you know your weaknesses, you know your strengths, you know what you're good at, you know what you might be worried on, and choose what suits you. And remember, look at the sheet. Like everyone says, look at the sheet, look at the sheet. It's so true. Look at the sheet, go down it. So if you're going to choose something, just make sure it's covering everything that they want. So if you choose, I'm going to do that because it's going to cover everything, fine. One other tip, based off my previous check test and standards check, don't cram too much in, okay? Otherwise, you might struggle to get it all in, and it'd be overwhelming for the student at the same time. All right, good luck, and if you like the channel or like the video, give it a thumbs up. Take care, safe driving.